This review has been made possible by Toyota of Naperville. As you know, Toyota has tons of brand new Toyotas available for purchase, but did you know that they also have a remarkable selection of used cars? Head on over to toyotaofnaperville.com and look through hundreds of used cars for sale right now.
Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach, and today I am driving a 2015 Scion XB 686 Parklan Edition. Up front is a 2.4 liter inline 4, and down below is a 4-speed automatic transmission. Guys, I'm super excited to be driving this XB for a couple of different reasons. First of all, I drove a first gen XB not too long ago, and so I'll leave that video at the end. That was one of the first XBs that they made. And my second reason is the fact that this is the last XB made. The 686 Parklan Edition was a sort of send-off edition for the XB. And I actually have a quote here from Andrew Gilland, who was the Scion vice president. He said, "The XB has been part of the Scion family from the very beginning, and we wanted to give it a meaningful send-off. What better way to do that than to partner with 686, which caters to people who live their lives to the fullest. Whether it's used on the streets or on the slopes, this XB will become a classic." So this is a special edition XB for the send-off, the end of production of the XB, and they only made 686 of these XBs. Now, what's so special about it? Well, you get the nice paint color on the outside. It is cocoa bean metallic. We get the extra rims, blacked out door handles, interior seats, floor mats, and rear zipper pockets. It's not a whole lot that you get in the package. However, they only made 686 of them. And the biggest thing to me is that this is the send-off of the XB. This is the final note. This is the swan song of the XB. And that's really special. But before we get back to the engine, if you have a Parklan 686 XB, please leave a comment down below. I'd love to see if any other owners of this XB are out there. Any number of the 686. I'm driving one, so there's only 685 of them roaming around at least. So let's get back to that 2.4 liter inline 4. I'll put the horsepower and torque up on the screen. It's nothing really too crazy. I'll put the miles per gallon as well. I'll put the liters per 100 kilometers up the top for you foreign viewers. It's nothing too crazy. It's a little 2.4 liter. It's actually the same thing you'll find from the Scion TC, the coupe and sedan, which is kind of interesting. So we're out here on the test track. The car is warmed up. I do have sport mode. We'll put it in, see what happens. Not bad. That was all first gear, that entire pull. I shifted at the very end. It has enough power to get out of its own way. It's not fast by any means, but it's at least adequate. Like I said, paired to it is an automatic transmission. Nothing really too crazy to say about that. It is not a CVT, which I think is important, because 2015 is really when CVTs kind of started hitting mainstream a little bit, and this is not that, because this was at the end of the production run, so why adapt new technology to a dying car? So it's a tried and true automatic. Last but not least, of course, the XB is front wheel drive. So let's talk about the interior. Of course, it's an XB, so we have a bunch of different things to talk about. In front of me, I don't have anything. Similar to the first gen XB, there is nothing in front of me. The gauges are actually up and off to the right, more towards the center of the vehicle. 4 gauges, I get a little readout for what gear I'm in and my fuel range. Then I have my miles per hour in actual digits and my odometer. Then I have my tachometer, fuel, and then a clock, as well as outside temperature to the far right. I can also change my display to average speed, time, miles per gallon, average miles per gallon, and then we're back to the range. I like this. I like these gauges. They look like the gauges from Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition Remix or some older video game like that. I like how they're sort of overlapping each other, but only the right, like from the right side. It looks like they sort of cascade one way. I think that that's really, really neat. On the steering wheel, I only have my volume controls and mode and skip track button. Makes the steering wheel somewhat lopsided, but that's okay. To the left of me, I have my power mirrors and dimmer switches, and of course on the door, I have my power locks and power windows. Moving into the center, I have what looks like an aftermarket radio, but it is in fact not. This is the stock radio. It even says Scion on it. It's made by Pioneer, which is an aftermarket radio company, but it's made for the Scion. It is touchscreen. I like the look of it. It's very 2000s, even though this is a 2015. Very 2000s. And what's interesting is I was kind of messing around with the screen, and it said, the bespoke audio system is not installed. Please contact your Scion dealer. So I think that's interesting that this is the final send-off XB, the 686, and you don't even get the nice stereo system. But then again, this was priced at $20,000 in 2015, so beggars can't be choosers. Down below the center screen, I do have my climate control options, where to send it, fan controls, and of course my hot and cold. No dual zone, unfortunately. Then I have the shifter. Now the shifter is sort of up on the dash, sort of like an EP3 Civic almost. And it actually says Scion embossed into the plastic next to the hazard switch. Then the shifter itself, very, very standard Toyota shifter. I call this the jigsaw shifter, where they saved money on a button and you can't go straight or back into a gear. You have to sort of work your way around. It's a safety feature that doesn't require engineering of a button or a separate button piece. So it saves money and it works. Toyota has used this for 20 years. I think this new Land Cruiser even still has this, and some new Lexuses still have it. Then I have the handbrake and the cup holders. Now the seats are decently comfortable. Like I said, these are for the 686, sort of a camouflage design, as I have been told. They're decently comfortable. It's not bad. However, we will talk about the back seat and the trunk space. All right, so I'm in the back of the 2015 Scion XB 686 Parklan Edition, and the seats back here are decently comfortable. Nothing really too crazy. Headroom is great. Legroom is decent. If I put my knees completely forward, I do hit the front seat, but besides that, headroom, I mean, is great. I am 5'11". I can fit my full fist and some up above my head, which is absolutely great. I love the tall roof line. I don't really get any amenities back here, not even a center console. I have a little fold-out cup holder down here, but that's really it. A very basic back seat, which is to be expected. I mean, yes, these cars are very, very cool, but you have to remember that this is also a $20,000 brand new car. And so amenities aren't really plentiful, but it's still a nice back seat. It's a nice place to be. You can fit 4 people in here very, very comfortably. So we're around the back of the Scion XB. First thing I wanted to note, red line 686 badge, pretty neat there. Tailgate comes up. These are the 686 XB floor mats. Really, really cool to see that. But other than that, I do have tie downs back here, which is pretty interesting for a car this size. Little buckets down here on either side. And then, like I said, just the XB floor mats, which are really, really neat. One last thing about the interior before we move on is the fact that the space in here is absolutely amazing, just like the first gen XB. The first gen XB looks small, but is huge on the inside. This looks a little bit bigger, but still retains that giant feel for the inside. Look, I can't reach the camera, just like I couldn't in the first gen XB. Very, very cool, and it's very, very spacious. Now we gotta talk about the looks. Like I said, it has that cocoa brown metallic paint job. Absolutely love that. I think that's something special. I like the wheels. I like the black accents, black handles and mirrors and things like that. I think it stands out enough. If you're a big Toyota or Scion fan and you see one of these in traffic, just know that they only made 686 of them. That's pretty cool. Let's say, I don't know, 20 of them have been in an accident. That's a very small number of these left. Overall, I have to say that this car makes me happy and sad at the same time. It makes me happy because this is a true continuation of the XB. Everything that made the XB cool to start with is still here. The weird gauges, the interior space, great. It's a little less boxy, a little less toastery, but that's how the 2010s moved. It's still very customizable. People build crazy things out of these. It's still very easy to drive. It's still just this humble little fun machine. And that's what makes me sad, is that when Toyota dissolved Scion, because Toyota actually owned Scion, when they dissolved them in 2016, the Scion IA lived on as the Corolla. The Scion FRS lived on as the Toyota 86. But the XB didn't. The XB didn't survive the cut. The XB didn't make it to the next realm. The XB went away with the Scion badge. When Scion finally closed its doors, it turned off the lights on the XB. And that's sad, because I think out of all of the Scion vehicles, yes, The FRS was cool and great, and I love the FRS, but there's also the Subaru BRZ, so if we lost the FRS, we would still have the BRZ. Out of all the Scion vehicles, this was the coolest. This was the one that I would have kept. This is the one that I wish lived on with a Toyota badge. Switch it to the JDM name of the BB. This should have lived on longer. I really think that this was the coolest and most unique Scion vehicle that was ever made. Both gens of the first and second gen XB. And it's just sad to see that we don't get them anymore. In a world where the Kia Soul really needs a competitor, I think a Toyota XB could really be that competitor. The weird, quirky, not really a hatchback, not really an SUV, whatever the heck it is. I think this could take on the Kia Soul if it were still around today. And it's a shame that it's not. I like this little thing. I really, really do. Toyota reliability and Scion weirdness, just making a beautiful, beautiful creation. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Toyota of Naperville for letting me take out their used Scion XB686 Parklan Edition. This is one of their used cars for sale right now. If you would like to own this specialty XB, they have one on the lot. Might be your last chance to do so. But they have hundreds of used cars as well. Please check the link in the description below, as well as it is up on the screen. Check them out if you're looking for a new or used car. They have tons and stuff. They will find something that fits your needs at a very reasonable price. They are absolutely awesome. Been working with them for almost 2 years now, and it's been absolutely fantastic. And I'm very, very thankful that I've been able to have the opportunity to drive this rare Scion XB. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really like to. Take care, guys.